Hi everybody, this video is going to be about the risen Christ, and ultimately we're talking about the Holy Spirit within us, in other words the heavenly one within, and what it means to really live in that reality. When you have full belief, how do you live? Well, when you have belief and you have an ascended state that you live in, you believe and you understand that you are one with Christ and one with the Holy Spirit. In other words, that is, the Holy Spirit is within you in your bodily form that exists, and you live out your life in such a way within the word of Christ, and everything that God taught us through the word, the written word, the actual word made flesh, and we understand the word being made flesh in a live context, and in the context of how we go about living our lives. Sometimes as humans, some of us can forget about this. Sometimes as humans, some of us can remember. Sometimes as humans, we can be in ascended state full time, and that is, that's sovereign royal state of ascendancy. And a lot of people will understand this in terms of religious beliefs, orders, the royal life, and why people believe of a certain lineage that, this is a state of ascendancy and the ascendance way of life. That's because it's a reality. Jesus Christ ascended, so if you ascend, in other words, if you believe that, and if you have the Holy Spirit as one, you are ascended. And the likelihood of that making through your bloodline, if your bloodline is of that accepts that, then yes, obviously you're more likely to be on the ascended level, and you will have ascendancy beliefs. But you will also have beliefs in faith and love and care and compassion for all beings, because that's what Jesus Christ did. As well, that's what Jesus Christ still does as an ascended being. Jesus Christ was always on the route back to ascendancy, was ascended but brought down and came down in such a way to meet with all beings and all souls in order to help them rise again. But as we say rise, it's a way of speech. It's really an ascendancy into a wholeness of acceptance of the Holy Spirit within, and that God energy within us. So ascension is really an elevation of the soul, but it really isn't a kind of movement upward, downward, outwards, or whatever. It's really just a way of explaining the rising of the spirit within. And so therefore we live in a higher vibration. We do live in a higher vibration in terms of how we live our lives, how we go about things. But if we're by the Spirit of Jesus, we will tend to want to help others of all different levels, so we will find ourselves in different levels as a result. But you often find that those rather of an ascendancy lineage more readily will do this, and even although they're in these situations which are ordained by God to be, and for them to be in of a lower level, their spirit remains ascended, and so they are able to help others to ascend in all sorts of different situations, which might for some others be quite difficult. For them it's very easy for them to bring those into the light from that position. So the ascendancy level, because of the ascended spirit of that person, can be a challenge, but they're called the sacrificial victim for a reason, and as Jesus was, because they can cope, they can manage, and they have full trust and belief in the power of God, which allows them to do that, and that's how God makes every enemy a footstool, or every, they say enemy, but it really